Hey, what's going on, everybody? My name is Matt Jarbo, and this is $3 Theater, hopefully one of your sources for movie news and commentary here throughout the interwebs. And here is a story that I heard rumblings of this many years ago, and the fact that it's brought up now, oh God, makes me kind of fear for whatever sanity Ridley Scott has left. Now, granted, right, he's currently in the process of doing his second soft reboot of the Alien franchise with Alien Covenant coming out in just 2 months. So at South by Southwest, he showed off some movie, apparently, and then also talked about plans to resurrect Maximus for the Gladiator sequel. Yeah, you're reading that headline correct. That actually fucking happened. It says here, at a time when the supernatural, mutants, and space adventures paved the Hollywood way, Ridley Scott resurrected an interest in ancient Greek and Roman history with his award-winning film, The Gladiator. Since then, there's been an awful swirl of rumors regarding a sequel and the direction it would take, considering the hero Maximus Decimus Meridius, Russell Crowe, dies in the end. In fact, in the movie, at the end when he kills Joaquin Phoenix and, he liberates the gladiators, make it, like the slaves and stuff, and he dies, he's reunited with his wife and child, and that's all he wanted. That's all he wanted. And so he died happy, knowing he would be at peace finally after knowing war for Caesar for all those years. And it says, now the director has hinted at the possibility that not only can a sequel be made, but it could feature Crowe once again, if he had any interest in reprising the role. Well, let's be fair here. What does Russell Crowe got going on? That's a valid question, right? The next movie we're going to see him in is in the Universal monster movie, The Mummy, right? That's the next thing we're going to see him in. He's not even playing like he's playing one of the leads, but he's not the lead, which would be Tom Cruise. And so really it's like he's kind of been relegated to supporting character role. I mean, he has said that he would be down for a Jor-El movie if the DCEU wanted to make a prequel to Man of Steel with him as Jor-El, taking on Zod, maybe. I've heard talks of that. And don't get me wrong, I would be 100% on board for a fucking Jor-El movie. Russell Crowe was awesome in that role in Man of Steel. So I'm okay with that one. But Gladiator, I mean, the movie came out 17 years ago, right? 17 years ago, I want to say this May or July. I could be wrong. I forget. It was definitely the summer of 2000. All right, I know that. But having a sequel doesn't need. Okay, let's go into what Ridley Scott's saying here. I know how to bring him back, Scott said on March 10th while at South by Southwest Film Festival in Austin, Texas. I was having this talk with the studio, but he's dead. But there's a way of bringing him back. Whether it will happen, I don't know. Gladiator was 2000, so Russell's changed a little bit. He's doing something right now, but I'm trying to get him back down here. And you got to give Ridley Scott credit. He will always find work to do, right? Like, I know, here's the thing with Ridley Scott. Ever since Tony Scott tragically killed himself back in 2012, I don't think Ridley Scott's ever stopped working. I don't think he's ever not been doing something. Not to say that he had never not been doing something before Tony took his own life, but to me personally, I always felt like he just kind of threw himself into his work and he just wants to keep going. One of the reasons why he pitched the idea of 6 Alien movies, 1 a year, and why he's talking about bringing back Gladiator 2. Like, I think it's because he's constantly looking to work, and that's just who he is. That's how he copes with life. And I'm not trying to put any thoughts in his head or say anything that's not meant to be sympathetic in nature. I love Ridley Scott. The dude's a fucking master of his craft, and I would love to see him do another Gladiator. I don't want to see another Counselor. That one was not very good, but Gladiator was dope as shit. So it says after a slew of badly received films, The Martian The director's popularity looks to be on an upward climb, especially following the release of Prometheus, the fifth installment in the Alien franchise, so it may be possible that Universal will give Gladiator sequel the go-ahead. Scott, however, will have to find the time in his busy schedule for the project. He's revealed that he wants to make 6 more Alien films. He says here, "I've enjoyed doing them so much, honestly, I'd like it to go on forever. Fans of the director's work can look forward to May 12th when Alien Covenant hits theaters." Okay, great. So let's kind of unpack this here. What could they possibly do in a sequel? How could they possibly bring back Maximus from the grave? Right? He was stabbed in the back. He was bleeding to death. He killed Caesar. He did his thing. Freed this, freed everybody. How could he be alive? Okay. Well, here's basically what I would suggest to that. At the end of remember like when he was injured after the battle and he was a slave, and the one guy whose name I can't remember right now put like the dirt in the wound to heal him. It's entirely possible that that's basically what they did. They were able to pack the wound, contain it, get him to a doctor, and he was able to survive. And over the course of the last 17 years, maybe he's been living in exile, kind of like Obi-Wan Kenobi and shit, just kind of wanting a life of peace, farming the wheat, which is his whole thing, right? So he's farming the wheat, and then someone finds out that Maximus is still alive, and they're like, "We need you, Maximus. We need you. The Roman legion or whomever needs you to fight once more. Be the gladiator we've all known you to be," and then just so he can make some cool one-liners like, "On my order, unleash hell," which is a badass line from that movie that still gets used, or "On my command, unleash hell," and then also the famous "Are you not entertained?" right? Which is just like, fucking, look, let's be fair. Gladiator is a great fucking movie. It is a great movie. And if they were going to do a sequel, that's kind of how I would pitch it. Right? Like, no, he didn't really die at the end. He really went into like a fucking coma, like Steven Seagal in Hard to Kill. Like something like that, where he just went into this coma for a long time, and they were able to do these like medieval, IV drips and kept him going forever. And he aged by 17 years and gained some weight. I mean, that could be a thing. I don't know though. I don't know. I would like to see this happen, but at the same time, it's also kind of like a pipe dream. It's just, I don't think it's ever going to come to fruition. And honest to God, it probably shouldn't. All right. Like, look at the Mummy movies. Okay. You had Mummy 2 or The Mummy Returns, and you had The Scorpion King. And then they did the offshoot Scorpion King movie. And then they did like 3 sequels to that film. Like sometimes you don't need to go there. But at the same time, Maximus is a really good character, and one that people really identified with and still to this day identify with, because Gladiator holds up 17 years later, and they could treat it something very similar to, let's say, John Wick, where, yes, it's a very straightforward concept, but the character is what people really, really, really like, and the world building. And if there's one thing that Ridley Scott's good at, is world building. I mean, fuck, look at Blade Runner. Look at Gladiator. Look at The Martian. I mean, he makes good movies with good worlds attached to them. And so if he was able to take that and kind of twist it into something else for Gladiator 2, then I would be on board. I mean, and let's be fair. If all of a sudden they came out and said, Ridley Scott, Russell Crowe, Gladiator sequel, lots of people would lose their shit. And that if you were a fan of the first one, you'd probably go see the sequel for if nothing else, just to be like, all right, I gotta see how'd they do this, how'd they get it to work, and then that's all. That's it. That would get me in the door. That would get me in the door in a heartbeat. But I do want to know what you guys think. A Gladiator sequel, could it happen? Do you think that Ridley Scott has just gone off the deep end and is looking for literally to remake or add a sequel to any film he's ever done? Where's that Robin Hood sequel? Right? Where's that Robin? It's been 7 years on that one. Where's the Robin Hood sequel? Give me that thing. Anyway, what are your thoughts? Leave them below in the comments. My name is, of course, Matt Jarbo. This is 3 Buck Theater. I will talk to you guys later. Have yourself a fantastic day. Please thumbs up the video, comment below, subscribe if you're new, and peace out.